Okay, so today we are going to start some fundamental of physics. Basically, before starting the fundamental of physics, it is very important to understand the quantity those are representing the measurements in the physics. So basically, these quantities are important to express the mechanics and measurements of physical interpretations. So basically, there are some fundamentals quantities. Those are important. Why I am saying the fundamentals? Because using these fundamentals, we can express other physical quantities. So basically, some fundamental quantities are in the mechanics or in physics is L length, mass, and time. So using these fundamental quantities, we can express the other uh, other required measurements of the physics. So basically, before starting these fundamentals quantities, this is very important. Why these are important? So suppose you assume that there are two persons and they are talking about their measurements. So someone is saying that I have measured the length of wall in inches, but suppose another one is not aware about the inches. So how he can reproduce the results of one, because he does not know the measurement in terms of inches. So basically, it becomes important to standardize all these measurements or these fundamental quantities. So first, this length, mass, and time. So basically, there are some standard which are required to generalize the concept of physics, or to generalize the measurement in physics. Those are very relevant. So basically, suppose the length of wall is 2 meter. Now suppose two person is discussing, and he is saying that one is saying that the length of wall is 2 meter, and another one is known that the measurement of the length is 1 meter. So he can reproduce the measurement of one, or by saying that okay, your length of wall is 2 times the our measurement. Same, suppose someone is saying that the mass of a quantity is 100 kilonewtons and his measurement is 1 kilonewton, so 1 kilogram. So he can say that the mass of the quantity is 100 times of his standard unit. So on the basis of these standardizations, there are some uh, standards units or standard quantities, and they are governing by the systematic international, that is known as the SI units. So basic thing is that to conceptualize, always one should measure the measurement in the physics or in the mechanics using these standard value, or using these standard quantities, so that his measurement can be reproduced by the other. So basically, suppose I am saying that for SI units, in SI units, length is represented by the meter, mass is represented by the kg or kilogram, and time is represented by the second. So using these three quantities, one can interpret another quantities in the physics. So basically, before going to the detail, suppose I am saying that there is a box, three-dimensional box, and it has length 1 meter, height 1 meter, and then width also 1 meter. So what is the length? If you will measure in SI unit, that is the 1 meter, height is 1 meter, and width is 1 meter. So if you will try to find the volume of this object, so the volume will be equal to length into height into width. So where L is the length, H is the height, and W is the width. So this will be 1 meter cross 1 meter cross 1 meter. So the total volume of this object will be 1 meter cube. So as I have discussed later that in the physics quantity is important, so we can say that there is a box of 1 meter height, 1 meter's length and 1 meter width. So the volume of this will be 1 meter cube. Similarly, suppose someone is saying that one person is walking from this point to this point. We can say this point is A and this point is V, and he is starting his walking from A to V, and the distance between these 2 points is 5 meter, and when he will cross this point B, the time is 5 seconds, or in another word we can say that one person will take 5 seconds to complete this 5 meter distance. So we can say that yes, a person is complete 5 meter distance in this time period, that is 5 seconds. Suppose if I will write 5 here and 5 here without these meters and seconds, so these measurement will have no sense. Similarly, the basic important thing is that in the physics, the quantity. Now the second, by using these quantity we can find or we can measure or we can express another quantity. Suppose I am saying that density. So let me assume something. Suppose there is a container A and another container B. The volume of the container A is volume of container A is 1 meter cube. It means it has 1 meter height, 1 meter length and 1 meter width. And the volume of container B is 1 meter cube. Is it clear? So it means the length, width and height of the container B is 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter. Now someone is filling this container completely by the water and this container by the oil. Is it clear? So, and he is measuring the mass of this water is 1000 kilogram and mass of this oil is 881 kilogram. Here I am writing kg is the representation of kilogram. So now you can see that both container has the same volume, but the mass in container A is greater than in the container B. So what is the meaning, how you can interpret these two things separately? So you can say that this container has the same capacity in terms of volume but contain different mass as compared to this. So it means we can say that there is some difference between these two fluid only. So basically we can say that the density of this fluid is kg or you can say that mass which is contained in this container at a unit volume 1, or you can say unit volume. So what will be the density of this water? 1000 divided by this 1 meter cube. So the density of this fluid is 1000 kilogram per meter cube, while the density of this one is 1 rho 1 divided by 1 meter cube. So the density of this fluid will be equal to 881 kg per meter cube. So as we discussed that both have similar volume but they are carrying a different mass, it means the density of this and this is totally different, and this difference of density will come from the atomic arrangement of the fluid, which we will discuss in the later classes. So now from this concept or from this example, you can clearly understand that the quantity in physics is very important, and to understand the quantities of measurement is very important. Without these quantities, the physics and mechanics is senseless. Now the second thing is that how we will say what is the measurement or what is the dimensions of these quantities. So again it becomes important what should be the physical dimensions of this quantity. So how you can interpret the dimensions? So basically dimensions tells about the unit of measurement, and they are also important to represent the number in a particular way. Suppose I am saying that 1 is equal to 3600. So one can say how it is possible. How 1 can be equal to 3600, or you can say 1 is equal to 1000. Is it make a sense? No, they are not making sense. But suppose you will say that 1 hour is equal to 3600 second, or 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meter. So now they are making sense. So again the quantity 1 or the quantity 3600 in for the time, or the quantity 1 or the quantity 1000 for the length is meaningless until or unless they have no units. So these units is known as the dimensions. These units is known as the dimensions, and these dimensions are very important for producing a result which is published by one, and another person is producing the previous results. Okay, so now we are starting some dimensional units. So here I am saying that before going to the detail, the quantities is always physically relevant when they have some units or some dimensions. So suppose for the example I am saying that there are two numbers, and I am saying that these two numbers are equal. I am saying that 1 is equal to 3600, or I am saying that 1 is equal to 1000. So okay, this is the number, this is the number. Now one can say it is how it is possible that 1 is equal to 3600. So it means they don't making any sense until or unless there is some no physical interpretation. So now if I am saying that in the second terms, then 1 hour is equal to 300 second, or I am saying that 1 minute is equal to 660 second. So these are making the sense. It means when they are writing in the single without some units, they have no sense. But when you are using some units or some dimension with these numbers, then they are making proper sense. Similar, if you will say that 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meter, or 1 meter is equal to 1000 millimeter, then they are making sense. Is it clear? So I am emphasizing that when you are using the physics, the number quantities are only important when they are using with some dimension or some units. Suppose I am saying that one person is walking 1 kilometer. So someone is saying that I walked in 1 kilometer. Another is saying that I walked 1000 meter, and another is saying that I have walked 10 into 10 to the power 6 millimeter. So all these are the measurements of length, and length is the quantity which is representing the distance. So suppose he is saying that, someone is saying that I have taken 10 seconds to complete 10 kilometer, or sorry 10 meters, or someone is saying that I have taken 5 seconds to complete the 10 meters. So they are making some sense. You can say that okay, the walking capacity of one person is different to another because they are traveling the same distance but taking the different time. So here time is the measurement of the durations, and it is interpreted by some physical units, that is the second, and length is the measurement of the distance, and it is expressed by meter, kilometer, inches, centimeter or millimeter. So basically it is important to keep in mind that measurement or physical interpretations of numbers without the units or without the dimension is not relevant. Now in the same things we are starting the dimensional analysis. So dimensional analysis. So what is the dimensional analysis? Basically why it has requirement in the physics. So basically suppose there are some formulas or some equations, those are very bulky to remember or to memorize. So basically the concept behind to introduce this dimensional analysis is that if you have the sufficient knowledge of this analysis, then there is no need to mug up or memorize the bulky equations. Using this dimensional analysis, you can simplify or you can derive your required relations. Is it clear? So this dimensional analysis will also is dependent on the dimensions of the quantities with different combinations. So suppose I am saying that there are two persons, and I am drawing a graph over here. Suppose this x-axis and this is the y-axis. X-axis is the representation of time and y-axis is the representation of distance. Is it clear? And again I want to emphasize that there are only three fundamental quantities, that is length, mass and time. Using these three fundamental quantities, you can derive any relations or any dimension. So according to SI unit, I am writing that the length, unit of length is meter, that is represented by small m. Unit of the mass is kilogram, that is represented by kg, and the unit of time or dimension of the time is second in SI unit, that is represented by second. So now I am saying that there are two persons, person A and person B. Both start the journey at the same instant of time. I am saying that starting point of A and B is t equal to 0 second, or t is equal to 0 sec s. S is the representation of second. But they have completed their journey at different instant of, or at a different time period. So I am assuming that the same distance, suppose y traveled by B in the time period of t1 and travel by B in the time period of t2. So this is the B and this is the A. So now you can say that both are traveling the same distance, but their traveling time is different. So from this figure you can say that if you will draw the slope of this line OA and OB, both are different. It means you can say that the rate of traveling is different of A and B. So by using these things you can derive the rate of travel of A is equal to this distance travel by divided by time period t1 minus t0, or you can say in the another words y1 minus y0 divided by t1 minus t0. So this will be the travel rate of A will be y1 divided by, suppose this is the y1 divided by t1, and similar of B, that is y1 divided by t2. My dear, this rate is generally known as the speed, and by using these two quantities length and time you can express the unit of this is the y1 meter divided by t1 second. So you can say the physical interpretations in terms of dimension of this rate is meter per second, that is known as the velocity or speed. So later we will discuss in the detail what is the velocity and what is the speed. But for right now I am saying that the rate of traveling, that is the speed of A and B, and the unit of this speed is meter per second in SI unit. Is it clear? Suppose I am saying that if the rate of velocity or rate of the speed, so what is the rate of speed? The speed of initial speed and final speed divided by time period. So again the rate of speed speed is equal to change in speed divided by change in time. So this will be equal to V final minus V initial divided by T final minus T initial. So what will be the measurement of, or what will be the dimension of this rate of speed? In terms you can say this is the acceleration. Later we will discuss in the detail. So this is the meter per second is the unit of velocity divided by second. So this will be meter per second. So as I have discussed earlier that all the quantities in the physics is represented by only these fundamentals representations of dimension. So this is the meter is the representation of length, time, or second is the representation of time. So you can say that one can travel or one can taking or changing his speed from v1 to v2 in the time interval t1 to t2. Is it clear? Okay. So the accelerations, dimension of the acceleration is meter per second, and dimensions of velocity is meter per second. Is it clear? So it should be always keep in mind when you are expressing the quantities, the dimension should be accurate. Otherwise, these are senseless, or in other terms, you can say that the measurement will not be reproduced by another one. So that's why the dimensions is important, and if you know the dimension of the velocity or dimension of the speed, there is a no need to mug up the formula. You have the dimensions. Using this dimension, you can say this meter is the length, this second is the time. So there is a relation between, you can say that velocity is direct proportional to speed, to distance or length or distance, you can say, and inversely proportional to time, because m and s. So based on this concept, we will try to derive expressions using these dimensional number. Now I am saying that prove that using dimensional number, prove that the time of falling is free from the mass. I am saying that suppose this is falling from this height h and it is striking on the ground and it is taking time t. So prove that the time which is taken by this body to reach the ground is independent of mass. Using this dimensional analysis, prove that the time which is taken by the body is not depends on the mass, is independent to the mass. So I have said that previously that there are three fundamental quantities: length, Le, and Gth. In the later video, we will discuss about some physical properties of the dimensional analysis. What should be some concept or what should be some rules which have to follow, like geometrical algebraic law of the dimensions. So in the later video we will discuss, but for time being, I am saying that length is the one quantity and it is represented by L inside this bracket. The mass, that is represented by M, and the time, that is represented by T. First, initially I am assuming that this time to travel from this point to the ground is t, that is direct proportional to, or small t is direct proportional to the length की power a. I am just assuming randomly, mass to the power b, and time to the power c. Is it clear? So I have assumed that initially the time is depend on the length, time is depends on the m, and times depends on the mass, length, and I am saying that some acceleration due to gravity, that is c. It is clear. Later we have discussed what is the unit of this acceleration, meter per second square. So what is the unit of this time? T. I have seen over here. What is the unit of length? That is L to the power A. What is the unit of this time? This gravity, or sorry, mass. So this is m to the power b. And what is the unit of this gravitational acceleration due to gravity? In the later class we have discussed acceleration is the velocity divided by time, change in velocity divided by change in time, that is meter per second square. So from this analysis you can write this meter is L and this is t to the power minus 2, or you can say that L t to the power minus 2 is the dimension of G. So here